Take a live look outside of our Savannah cams, and wow, the fog is insane out there. It doesn't look like the first day of meteorological spring. Storm Team 3 meteorologist Hannah Evans is here with your forecast first. Good morning, Hannah.
Good morning, Tyler. Well, yeah, it definitely doesn't feel like it as you step out the door this morning. It's also pretty chilly along with that fog, with 48 degrees in Savannah and 47 degrees in Glenville. We are down to most of us seeing around a mile or less of visibility this morning, with that dense fog advisory still continuing now this morning throughout the entire viewing areas. Just be very careful as you are driving out there this morning because of the fog. But we are tracking dry conditions on our Viper radar, and high pressure is in control today. So once the fog does lift, we do see lots of sunshine, and that will really help warm us up. This afternoon, we'll see our temperatures ranging in the 70s. So it is going to feel like meteorological spring later this afternoon, where we're at 75 degrees in Statesboro and Savannah, 76 degrees in Pembroke and in Hinesville. And it doesn't stop there. We'll continue to warm up to the upper 70s and low 80s for the end of the week, which I will talk a little bit more about in just a few minutes. Tyler.
Thanks, Hannah. Our top story this morning: strikes by U.S. and Israeli forces against Iran have moved into their second full day, even as Iranian state media has now officially confirmed that Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei is dead after joint strikes from the U.S. and Israel. Those strikes were officially announced by President Trump on social media early Saturday morning, and they come after weeks of military buildup in the Middle East. Iranian state media says more than 200 people have been killed in the strikes and more than 700 are injured. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are speaking out, and WSAV's Washington correspondent Trevor Shirley joins us this morning with the latest.
Overnight, President Donald Trump posting on Truth Social, warning the Iranians not to continue their attacks or face even harder strikes by the U.S.
This morning, missiles and bombs continue to fly around the Middle East. U.S. forces struck targets inside Iran as the Islamic Republic retaliates, firing missiles and drones at Israel and regional U.S. allies.
Operation Epic Fury is directed towards specific and strategic objectives.
The U.S. launched the massive air campaign early Saturday, killing Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei within hours. The White House released these pictures showing President Donald Trump and top officials monitoring the attack from the president's Mar-a-Lago resort home in Florida. Washington lawmakers weighed in over the weekend, mostly down party lines.
Trump says his goal is to topple the Iranian regime, but the American people are tired of regime change wars.
Well, I find no joy in war. I do find relief that the United States is stepping up, that we're fulfilling our pledge to the people of Iran.
As the fighting continues, some world leaders also calling for an off-ramp, urging Iran to stand down.
Iran can end this now. They should refrain from further strikes.
But that appears unlikely as Iranian attacks continue on U.S. facilities around the Middle East. This week, Congress is likely to vote on a war powers resolution that could limit President Trump's ability to continue military force against Iran.
And according to U.S. Central Command, so far there are no reports of any U.S. casualties or combat-related injuries. Reporting in Washington, I'm Trevor Shirley.
Back at home, Republican South Carolina Representative Nancy Mace issued a statement about the Ayatollah's death, saying this, quote, marks the end of a dark era defined by repression, extremism, and hostility towards the United States and our allies. Today is not about celebration. It is about accountability and moral clarity. Meanwhile, Democratic Georgia Senator Jon Ossoff condemned the strike, saying, quote, I oppose yet another regime change war of choice in the Middle East. Congress must convene immediately and pass a war powers resolution to assert our constitutional authority over war and peace, adding that Trump presented no evidence that Iran's nuclear program posed a threat to the U.S. and that Trump lied about destroying that program last year. Savannah's Jewish Educational Alliance says there are no known threats to Jewish facilities in our area and that their celebrations for the Jewish Purim holiday will continue as scheduled with increased security. We are learning more about a crash that happened yesterday morning in Chatham County that put 3 people in the hospital. Georgia State Patrol says they were dispatched to the scene at State Route 204 and East Gateway Boulevard at around 5:33 yesterday morning for a crash that involved a vehicle and an ambulance. The car rear-ended the ambulance and both came to an uncontrolled rest in front of the light at that intersection. In total, 3 people were taken to the hospital for treatment. Their current condition is unknown. Well, a celebration of life was held for a renowned chef and local Savannah legend. Joe Randall died earlier this month at age 79, and WSAV's Evan Smoke attended the ceremony at St. Paul CME Church, and he has more on how loved ones remembered him.
Friends, family, and city officials came together this morning to celebrate the life and legacy of a culinary king. Joe Randall always said, "Keep it simple and make it taste good."
He loved to cook, and when he cooked, he did it with love. You can taste it with every single bite. Bon appetit.
That's how Joe Randall's oldest son, Jay Christopher, remembers his father, who truly embodied the nickname Chef.
He loved to serve, and he served with a smile. He loved to entertain, and boy, was he great at it.
Randall had a cooking school here in the hostess city, but he was much more than a local legend. In 2016, Randall earned a spot in the prestigious National Museum of African American History and Culture, and in 2023, he received the James Beard Foundation's Cookbook Hall of Fame Award for his publication, A Taste of Heritage, The New African American Cuisine. Many chefs locally and around the world pay their respects at his celebration of life. One mentee spoke publicly about how Randall taught him and others about the power of local cuisine and how to share it.
He was doing the work. And through that, he showed us that Southern food had heart, it had soul, it was sacred, and that it had a story that needed to be told.
Multiple past and present city officials also remembered Randall, including current Mayor Van Johnson, who played piano and spoke during the service.
Some people cook, and some people teach, and some people preserve history. And Chef Joe Randall, they did all 3. But not in just feeding our bodies, but also feeding our souls.
Following the church celebration, friends, family, and community members gathered for one of the things the chef did best, a meal. Evan Smoke, WSAV News 3, on your side.
The state of South Carolina is preparing to pay tribute to the late civil rights leader, Reverend Jesse Jackson. The governor's office says his body will lie in state at the South Carolina State House tomorrow, Monday, March 2nd, and flags atop the State House will also be lowered to half-staff. Jackson, a politician and protege of Martin Luther King Jr., was born in Greenville, South Carolina. He died last week after a long illness at the age of 84 years old. WSAV is your local election headquarters, and a bill meant to improve literacy across Georgia could soon be helping students right here in Chatham County. The Georgia Early Literacy Act of 2026 would strengthen reading programs and expand support for students with dyslexia. Here in the Savannah-Chatham County school system, district leaders say literacy is already a top priority, with millions invested in teacher training and academic coaching. School board members say those efforts put the district ahead of what the bill would require if it does become law.
Also have academic coaches that work with our K-5 population. The pending legislation would look at adding coaches in K-3. We're currently working K-5. So we definitely understand the importance of literacy in the district. We certainly support any additional assistance and funding that the state would provide through literacy coaches.
The bill must still pass the state Senate before heading to the governor for final approval. Meanwhile, the way voters elect city council members on Tybee Island, well, that could soon change. Currently, the top 3 people with the most votes get a seat, but a proposal by Mayor Brian West would make each seat a position, meaning residents would vote for 3 specific positions. The change to the election system was supposed to be on last week's agenda, but was removed due to city leaders needing more time to review that topic. However, that didn't stop residents from speaking out.
The proposed system will result in a more limited choice. What if my top 3 choices all run for the same posts or 2 posts? I wouldn't be getting to choose who I most want to be on council.
Mayor Brian West says they won't have the referendum on the ballot until November, saying this will give them lots of time to think before they make that decision.